Broadcasting from the Keep Moving Forward Creator Studios, it's time for the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. This limited release show features the stories of the 2019 contestants of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's athletic competition, NBC's The Titan Games. Now here's your host, Katie Galley.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. I'm your host, Katie Galley. In the Keep Moving Forward Creator Studio with me today, I have Titan Games athlete, Army veteran, and entrepreneur Christopher Watts. How are you doing, Christopher?
Awesome. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I am doing awesome. Thanks so much for stopping by and sharing your story with us today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So just to kind of get to know you a little bit, I wonder, where did you grow up and how, if at all, was your childhood shaped by athletics?
So unlike most people, I guess, I was an Army brat. Mm-hmm. So I did the most of my growing up, first 9.5 years in Germany. And then after that, I moved to Kentucky, just for the later part of elementary school and high school and whatnot. I've been playing soccer. I know you've heard that answer a lot, but I've actually been playing soccer since, as young as you're allowed to play until I was 19. So I feel like I've been athletic, my whole life, even though I didn't, make it to a collegiate team or make it to professionals. But, so I think that the soccer background has helped me tremendously. Yeah. I've never had like a big issue with running or anything with conditioning. It sucks. I'm not gonna say I love it, but so I think that's helped me out a lot.
So being involved, playing soccer up until you're 19 years old, but also moving around a lot as a child too. How did you get involved? So when you would move, did you just automatically start playing on the whatever soccer team, the local soccer team or the school soccer team, to kind of get plugged in to the new community?
Yeah. So in Germany, like I said, I played when I was younger, and then when I got to the States, I kept playing. And it's like I never played for an actual school team. I always played for the city team or the traveling team, Lucky enough, I was good enough to, make it on those teams. And we won some state championships and local competitions or matches or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then at 19, it's just pretty much, the cutoff, unless you're just going to join some adult league locally. But I guess I didn't have that opportunity because after high school, I went into the Army not too long afterwards, and so so that's the only reason why I stopped playing soccer like that.
So having then grown up, having family members in military in the Army, is that what spurred you to want to join the Army yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I feel like it's tradition in a sense, because both my mom and dad's dads were, they did their time, and then my dad obviously did his time, and so I just felt like I have a brother and sister, and I'm not, and, they tried to go in it too, but I felt like at least one person had to, continue it. So even though I didn't make a career out of it like they did, I just knew I was going to end up doing it sooner or later.
Yeah. So you got into it, and so having that, so at 19 you decided that you wanted to enlist.
Yeah. I took a year off from high school, and then about 1920 is when I went in and signed the contract and gave my life to the United States of America, if you will. But and then my parents, they weren't really keen on the actual job that I picked because I was an infantry guy, and I don't think my grandparents did any infantry stuff, and then my dad, he didn't do any infantry stuff. So, but they were supportive of it. So, my mom's been with me throughout my whole journey. Like when I had to go to MEPS, I was there for like a whole day, like the full almost 24 hours. She sat there and waited until I signed my contract. But it was crazy.
So being in the infantry, what does that entail? What did you do?
You just do the legwork, I guess, of everything. On deployments, like during wartime is the only time you actually get to do your job. And I'm doing air quotes, your job. Because during the stateside, all it is just training. It's, learning how to work with your team, your squad, how to move like as a full element onto an enemy position. And then, like I said, during combat time, you actually get to do it. Except for now, the war is different than how it was back in the day. So now we actually get to kick indoors and, we enjoy that type of stuff. But yeah, so you don't really get to do your job stateside. I know I'm rambling, but infantry guy is just basically a wartime position. Just for people who like to just, I guess, be more active than the other stuff or the other jobs that you could take, I guess.
Yeah. And that makes sense. That was something that you were drawn to, having your athletic background, wanting to remain active. And so how long, then were you in the Army? How long were you in the infantry?
So I actually only did about 3 years. But I had one 15-month deployment, in 07, 08. And, I was going to do more. And, I know this is like irrelevant or whatever, but like our first platoon sergeant like killed the whole vibe of the whole platoon. And so when we got back off deployment, it was about everybody's time to, re-up for contract or get out. And so the whole platoon just basically got out. Like our lieutenant got out, which is crazy. And, I think maybe only a handful, 2 or 3 guys might have stayed in. So yeah, I had plans of doing a full 20, but I guess I let somebody dictate my future on that one.
I gotcha.
Which I'm kind of glad because everything worked out.
Right.
Everything happened for a reason. And then I went back over as a contractor. And then I made it to the Titan game. So
yeah,
who knows? I might not have been on the show had I stayed there for 20 years. So
right.
So it's okay. Yeah.
So after you decided to leave, you said you went back as a contractor. That means you went back into the Army as a contractor?
No. So I went over as a civilian.
Right. Okay.
And I was over there for maybe 2.5, 3 years, and I just did security work. I started out at low-level security, which is just like watching the perimeter, I guess, if you will. And then I moved up to watching the ammo. And that job was just fantastic. And then I finally made it to where I protected people as I took them out to certain meetings and everything else. So I worked the whole spectrum practically of the security world over there.
Yeah. And so why then, why did you get involved on that security side? What drove you to do that?
Because again, it like back in the day, it was like, it was like the legit job to have. It's active. You have a chance of like getting into trouble, I guess, if you will. And so I'm just like, I'm not a thrill seeker, but I don't mind, I guess, putting my life out there for, I don't want to say the cause, but just certain things, so yeah.
Okay.
That's how I got into that.
Yeah. And so from there, leaving the infantry and then going back as a contractor, so working in security. So from there, is that what you still do today, or did you make another transition after you finished with security?
I can happily say that I quit that job. It's just not what it used to be. And the companies, they treat you like, I don't want to say garbage, if you will. So I quit. I'm now working on transitioning to opening up a gym because I've done it before and I've had great feedback. I love everybody that I've trained. And then knock on wood, nobody's ever gotten injured under my hand. So I just love to give back, and so I just want to give back and help other people reach their fitness goals, as cliche as that sounds. But, like one of the greatest feelings is like when you can get somebody to either squat, whether it be 135 or, 500 pounds, like squatting. And for that person, it's a big achievement. And so, to get somebody to to reach that goal is pretty fantastic. So but that's what I want to get back into.
What kind of gym? I mean, what kind of, like you're saying, helping people lift, helping people back squat, that's something that you're passionate about. And so, what kind of gym are you looking to open, or have you opened it already?
No, I haven't opened it already. It's in the works. And I don't want to actually say right now just because, there are local competitors and whatnot. And so it is going to be CrossFit based, but there's going to be extra panache to it. So I'm going to add a little zinger to give the community something different because there's nothing like it in that area. And so, sorry I can't answer that question. I just don't want people to pick up on it before I'm able to open up my spot,
Yeah, I gotcha. So then, you're saying it's going to be CrossFit based though. So did you at some point then get involved in CrossFit as well? And are you, a CrossFit trainer yourself?
Yeah. So, I think in 2013, I got my level 1, and then within the last year and a half, I was blessed enough to pick up my level 2. And ever since I got into CrossFit, it's just been a different world because I'm not a big fan of like personal training. I feel like most people don't understand, like, it's kind of like a gimmick, like I'm going to say 75% is a gimmick. Only like 25% of the personal trainers out there actually know what they're talking about. And people who sign up for it, don't realize that the person teaching them doesn't know what they're talking about either. They're just happy to be moving. And so I wanted to transition out of that because just that whole little stigma, if you will. And CrossFit's got a bad name too, or it can have. But like I said, I've never injured anybody. Everybody's had good results. And I'm not trying to praise myself for it, but it's just a different animal. You teach more. CrossFit's not just like lifting. You actually instruct the people on how to do it and tell them why they're doing it this way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Opposed to just be like, "I'll give you 5 sets of this," and do a couple of reps of that.
Yeah.
Man, I'm in a trouble spot here. CrossFit is just like that's my jam. It's the world I love. It's picking up every year. More and more people are signing up for it, and just everybody's getting smarter. They're not also like reaching their goals, but they're getting smarter because of it. So, I love it.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Then you got your level 1, level 2. And so the gym that you intend to open, having those roots in CrossFit makes sense. Then you saw what it did for you. And, now you want to be able to do that for somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, on this journey that you've been on, then I wonder, how did the opportunity arise for you to become a contestant on this season's Titan Games?
It's a funny story. So, I was working out. I was actually working out at the outside gym when I was overseas, and just like everybody else, I get on my phone from time to time instead of like actually doing my workouts, and I just saw an Instagram post that the Rocket made talking about the show. And so I was actually looking up, like 2 days before, I was like looking up trying to get onto a show he had done before. I think it's called Heroes. Because they just like seemed like they were just throwing away money. And I was like, let me get up on that money. And so I realized that it got canceled. And then when I saw the post, I was like, well, let me try this because maybe I'll throw out more money. And so after my workout, I did actually complete my workout. After my workout, I went up to my room and got on the internet and filled out the application. But the application, like, I know you heard this before, it was lengthy. And, I'm not, as much as I could post on Instagram, making a video for a TV show is pretty intense. So I almost didn't finish the application just because of that. But I was just had a buddy who's like used to making videos because he's been trying to apply for another TV show, and so he helped me out. And so thanks to him helping me out, I made my video and then. And luckily enough, I got a phone call within like 2 weeks, trying to set up a Skype interview. And then after that Skype interview, it was like the longest wait ever. And then And then it was like, hey, can we fly you out to this combine? And so I took a little personal leave, excuse me, and they flew me out straight to LA. And then after LA, I went straight back to work. And I'd say that was a pretty long period too to find out if I made the show. Because I know you heard this. Like, we do have that side chat on Instagram, and you know, people were all like, "Did you get a phone call? Did you get a phone call?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that whole journey was just amazing. The combine itself was crazy because you just had a little bit of everything. You know, you had some gymnastic work, agility work, strength work, and then the best part that everybody loved was trying to find out their VO2 max on a treadmill. Because every like 3 minutes or a minute and a half, they like make you go faster, and then they put the incline up higher, and it's like, this is the worst.
Man.
But yeah, so that whole thing was just, it was a journey itself. You know, that whole process was just a journey itself from day one. But I'm blessed, and I'm glad I got picked. And as you can, see from the episode I was already on, I got my title of the Titan, so I'm pretty satisfied. You know, I'm content with life right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you made it onto that next round. And so I wonder though, initially when you were, like you're saying that, and you're right, many of the individuals I've been able to had the chance to speak with have all talked about the length of the application. It was very intensive, and do you really want this? Do you really want to go after this? So what do you think then when you made that 5-minute video, when you put yourself out there, can you maybe think of or pinpoint something that maybe set you apart as to why they wanted you to come out for the combine, why they wanted to see more of you and see if you could make it as a contestant? What do you think made your application stand out?
Oh, it's because of my blue eyes. No, I'm joking. No, I do have like a sad story, I guess. I lost my platoon sergeant when we were deployed.
Wow.
And so, I think I met that whole military, veteran quota that I guess they were trying to reach for. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, and then since the whole like making a video, I just found myself like when I talk about things I've never been vulnerable to anybody before. You can pretty much ask anybody I know. And so now, like, I'm trying to do more of it, but then when I talk about it, it also like, frogs up my throat, and I always want to cry now. And, coming from like all these manly jobs that I've had, and, stuff like that, it's like, it's really outside my comfort zone. But, I'll embrace it. If I shed a tear, I shed a tear. And then, I'm just glad I'm able to like talk more about my actual background, I guess, my story, because see, it's happening now. Because James Doster was like a big part of my life, even though it only lasted like, I think we only had him for like 4 months. But just the impact he made on all of us is just crazy because, like I'm still attached to him. So yeah. I don't know. I don't mind it.
Yeah. And I mean,
it is what it is. So.
Yeah. I think though that you're hitting on a really key point about just the nature of the Titan Games and all of the other 63 individuals that you got to meet and interact with. Just that vulnerability piece. It's, you all have gone through different struggles, different things that you've walked through in your own lives. And it's that willingness though to open up and be vulnerable and allow people to hear your story and know that it's okay to be sad. It's okay no matter what line of work you come from, what you do today, no matter where you came from and what you do. It's, are you going to allow yourself to open up? Because then that might help somebody else. They could hear your story and be benefiting from that journey that you've walked because they feel they can relate to you. They feel that they've walked a similar path. And so I think you're right. It's just being, it is what it is. It's being able to open up and be vulnerable. And that's how you can, you can't imagine the doors of opportunity that might open because of that.
Yeah. It's crazy too because like I lost my mom's dad at an early age, and we were like pretty close to cancer. And then my dad's dad died later on after moved to the States of cancer, and then my own dad died of cancer. So it's like, but like I cried at my mom's dad's, but then it's like, you know, throughout life, you're just like, this is part of life. Like, you accept it. But I don't know. When you lose somebody in a war zone, I guess it's different.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That makes
crazy.
sense. I mean, it's a different situation, a different circumstance, but that was your livelihood. That was what you put your whole heart into. And so to lose someone in the context of that community, just having it be different. You're right. I mean, I can understand that difference. And so from though, I mean, meeting all these people specifically on the Titan Games, and again, having that community around you, competing with everyone. I wonder, what would you say is your personal definition of a Titan now that you've had this experience? And how do you think that this particular experience on this season's show will now carry over into the rest of your life?
Honestly, I hope it just opens up more opportunities to do stuff. And, like, I want to wholeheartedly do the gym stuff, but also now I'm kind of addicted to being on TV. Like, so, I just hope, you know, it opens up more options. Like, I could care less about, like, you know, getting paid for it. I don't know. It's a different world. And like I said, they got me to open up, and I don't know. I almost want to do it more, but
yeah.
I just don't want to go back home and just, you know, start randomly opening up to people that I know. Like, it's I don't know. It's just crazy. It's a different atmosphere, I guess, if you will. So yeah, I guess the end thing is just I hope more opportunities arise, and whatnot. Because I just feel like as much as I did open up on Titan Games, it's like just a pebble just got flipped over, you know. Like the host, I'm trying to flip over a whole rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, that was good. That was funny.
So yeah, like, I don't know. I just getting older. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just want it to be a different lifestyle, I guess, from being closed up.
Yeah, so it's being, like you're saying, being more intentional then about who you're sharing with and who you're opening up to, but then now opening up, having this new passion kind of come on your heart. You loved being a contestant on this season and using that, I mean, this athletic competition show, and then being on a stage in front of people and competing. It's a whole nother world. I mean, being under the lights and having that competitive drive come out, and then now you get to continue on and go to the next round as one of the Titans that made it. And so with all of that, so hoping that these opportunities then keep presenting themselves and wanting to walk through those doors, then how do you think that this opportunity, this one with the Titan Games, helped prepare you now for that? So looking forward, if you've looked to apply to other shows, or if you've looked more into that space, into that arena, how do you think that this particular experience on the Rock's show then will help you now down this new path that you found?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a tough question because, you know, every scenario is different. You can't necessarily prepare for something you don't know. And like with TV shows, every TV show has a different aspect of it. And so I don't know. I guess just I'm able to be silly and just be me, no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm just prepared, like, because I can talk to anybody in front of a camera. I act silly or dumb or whatever you want to call it. I can still just be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you stumped me on that one.
Yeah, well, it's true. You just want to be, again, like you're saying, being intentional about that vulnerability, and then, but having this experience now, it's kind of like you're living in that state of preparedness. So you don't know what opportunity will come up next. You don't know what show or what any competition show, any athletic competition, whatever it is, whatever opportunity falls in your path, you can now say, okay, well, I'm prepared. I know how to handle this. I know how to go after it. Even if that situation isn't exactly like something you've already gone through, you have the experience now to rely on and to lean back on. So you are actually still in that state of preparedness no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like the only thing, like I still never get used to opening up, but I guess now that I've done it once, and I've even told the producers of the show, like amazing producers, by the way. I was like, I've had to talk about it so much on there, and every time it was like the same result. Like I couldn't, like when you talk about something for so long, or you do something, like you just become numb to it. So it's like second nature. You can just talk about it, but it's not that case with me. And I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad I don't get numb to it, because this is just one thing I don't want to become numb to. But I don't know. I like I said, I can just talk about it now. So I guess no matter where I go or what I do, if somebody was asking me questions about it, I may have to take a big deep breath. I can answer the question now. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to like just shed a tear or whatever. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes with, not just on being on TV, but just being a person and wanting to inspire others and lead others and help others through life. It's being that way and opening up to your own experiences to allow them to do the same. And in that vein, I just, with this journey that you've led so far and knowing that you have all these goals left too that you want to achieve, going after maybe other shows that you want to be on, or, opening your gym, whatever it looks like, but also reflecting back on where you've come from. I just have one final question that I ask all of my interviewees. What do you want to be remembered for?
Being awesome, I guess. I just want to be remembered as somebody who won't mind taking time to help somebody else. And pretty chill. I know there's a time where I wasn't like that, and I was like so anti-chill, and like there'd be certain topics that would be talked about, and it just like wowed me up. But now it's not worth my time to get wild up, I guess. So certain topics arise, I'm just like cool, and then I can just have conversations with anybody now. About anything, and it wouldn't bother me. So now I hope people just remember me as like a chill dude who's like cool, and like I said, we'll do anything for anybody.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's installment of the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. To learn more about each of these Titan athletes, be sure to check out their information in the links in my show notes. Furthermore, to stay up to date on all things coming out of the Keep Moving Forward Creators Studio, be sure to subscribe to the Keep Moving Forward podcast iTunes channel and follow along on social media, also available in the show notes. As the creator of the Titan Games, Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says, "Titans aren't born, they're made." And I hope today's story helped you realize all that you are capable of becoming if you put in that hard work and just keep moving forward.